Well, hello, ladies, and thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Queen's Journey. A woman can be defined by a lot of things, yet some things are universal. Today, we explore the cultural perspective from a diverse group of women who represent 5 different countries.
Helping each other.
Welcome to Queen's Journey. I am your host, Janine McBath.
Helping each other.
The first person that I can remember seeing on television that looked like me, I would say is Diane Carroll. And she played the part of Julia Baker. And she was a nurse, a Black female nurse, and she was smart. And I think that's why I decided to go into the medical field and receive my degree as a medical technologist, because I loved the way she dressed. I loved her white and her cap. You know, they wore all that kind of stuff as a nurse back then. And so it really made me feel like, wow, look at us. We're on television and we're smart. We're working in a hospital doing great things. So she was the one who really stood out for me when I was growing up.
Ladies, can you all introduce yourself?
All right, hi, my name is Karis Thomas and I am from India.
Woo! What part of India?
It's a city called Bangalore. It's a big city, couple million people live there.
Is it anywhere near Delhi or any of those places?
No, so Delhi is all the way up in the north,
Okay.
and then Bangalore is all the way in the south, close to this other city called Chennai.
Okay, wow. I've been to India 4 times. And I've been to India 4 times, but I've been into New Delhi, Hyderabad.
That's close to Hyderabad. Bangalore's close.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hyderabad and Tanaku.
Oh, I don't know where that
That
is.
was deep in the bush, I think.
Oh, there you go. Sounds like a village. Sounds just like a village.
But I enjoyed it. Oh my gosh, India was so beautiful. I mean, I love the colors in India. I love the weddings. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. And I got a chance to wear the Punjab.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, I got
What
to
is
wear
the
the
dress?
pants.
Okay,
and
yes.
the tunic.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
and then the sari.
Yep.
I got to wear it, but now the sari, I don't do too much of the sari.
It's hard. It's
Because
hard.
it shows this right here. Yo, and unless I have it flat, I'm not going right here. I'm not going there. I'd rather wear the tunic and the pants.
Look, that's what my mom says.
But I love it. It's such a beautiful place. And thank you so much for being with us today.
course.
All right, Sade.
Hello, well, my name is Sade Cole, and I am from 2 different heritages, actually. My mother's side is from St. Thomas Virgin Islands, and my father's side is from Jamaica. So it's a nice little island, you know. Get all of me.
I've been to St. Thomas.
Okay,
And
gorgeous.
St. John.
Beautiful. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
And my husband and I went for our
Okay.
anniversary one year.
How did you like driving on the opposite side of the road?
No, I didn't do that. I did not, and I prayed my way through.
I understand
I
that. It is a
prayed
little
my way
scary.
through. But it was, it's such a beautiful island,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And Jamaica is gorgeous. One time I was there, and I think, what you call it, a jumper?
So in St. Thomas, we call it like the Muchugumbis. So it's like the guys on the stilts.
Yes, yes, they had that. Oh, it was so beautiful. It's almost like India too, because it had a lot of color.
Yes.
It was beautiful. And so we're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
We're so
Thank
glad
you
you're
for
here.
the invitation.
All right, Carol. Woo.
Carol Osborne, and I am actually American, but I am 4th generation of Mexican heritage.
Wow.
So I recently did a DNA
Okay.
map thing, you know,
Okay.
Ancestry was
Yes.
the program that I used. And it showed that I was 52% Indigenous American as my race, and then
Wow.
22% was European, like Portugal and Spain, and even a little bit of France. 16% is other, and 2% of that was Jewish. But I was telling the ladies earlier, they were like, just claim that you're Jesus' cousin.
I love it.
No,
I
it's
know.
okay.
Yeah, we got this Jesus cousin over here. All right. I love it. Oh my goodness. Wow, and now Mexico is beautiful. You know, when I go to Mexico, you know, I always think that I can speak the language. You know, just because I took about 4 years in school, and my oldest son always says, "No, ma, no," you know. But I love the language and the children, and I just love Mexico, and I think everybody does. Ladies, I am so excited that you are with me today. I mean, this is going to be great. We're talking about cultures. We want to know about your culture. We want to know some of the things you grew up on, you know, some of the things that are maybe different from me, African-American woman. And I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? And you can answer them the best you can, and it's going to be fun. So the first one is, a lot of people identify a specific culture by the foods they eat. Can you fill in the blank for us? You're not a blank if you don't cook blank.
So this is an interesting question, right? 'Cause
Okay.
everyone naturally assumes that you're going to say you're not from the Caribbean islands if you don't cook jerk chicken, right?
Okay, right.
But
Okay.
there's so many other things like saltfish cakes and beef patés or butter bread or Johnny cakes or fried fish or ackee and saltfish or, you know, cooked plantain the right way.
Right.
So
She's
it's
in the 30s.
certain things, you know.
And you gotta cook plantain the right way.
The
You
right
can't just
way.
use a banana. Oh, no. You can't just go to the store and get a banana and think that you're gonna make.
Yes,
So you gotta have
those
that.
are my answers. So
Okay.
you got to be able to cook those things because anybody can make jerk chicken.
Right.
But can you make a saltfish cake?
You gotta know how to do that.
it. Like
Yeah.
you have to know the seasonings.
Yes,
like
you do.
There's like a whole joke like you have to hear it from your ancestors, right? But you really got to do it. So it also comes from cleaning so we clean our meat
Right.
and everything
That's what
before,
I heard,
right?
yes.
So there's a certain way you got to clean it. It has to look a certain
Right.
way. Then you got to make sure it's seasoned. You have to smell the seasoning.
Wow.
As soon as you walk into the kitchen, then it has to look good enough to eat
Right.
raw.
Wow.
And then you can put it to cook. And then you can eat it.
Oh
It's
my
just,
God. Well, you know, it's funny because last year in November, I made oxtails for the first time, okay? So my son-in-law, who is the son of Carol, told me, Mom, this is how you gotta do it, right? And so I'm going, okay, all right. But the way they prepared it, they did take time to prepare
It's a
that.
process.
It's a process. And I was so amazed that I did a good job.
I'm proud of you.
There you go. I mean, I was so amazed. I mean, they ate it and they didn't fall out. I mean, they really ate it. All right. What do you have to have from India?
To be an Indian, you just need to cook.
You just,
That's
you just
it,
got
full
out of
stop.
cook.
Just full- there you go, that's
okay.
it.
Okay.
I'm not that person.
You're
though.
not- Okay, so do you cook?
Now I do.
Now you do.
Now I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
Coming to America, I crave the flavors. I told them when I came to school here, and people, they assume, right? You're
Right.
Indian,
That's
you can
right.
cook.
That's right. Right.
I played with it. They're American. They're not American. They're from other countries, but like not from India, so they don't know what they're missing. So I would shamelessly, ask people, come on over when I'm experimenting on how to cook. I'm so used to hospitality from home. That's such a big thing.
Right.
Just eat with people, like always.
Right.
So they're like, yes, we're gonna eat Indian food, and I didn't know their expectations. They don't know their expectations.
They don't
So
know.
yeah, they don't know. So when I made it, I made the food, and they loved it. They don't know what
wow.
they ate.
They
It
didn't
wasn't
know.
it, but they loved it. I knew I missed something. For me, it never hit. It never hit the spot, and I was like, "Ooh, something's off." But you know what? They don't know.
They don't know.
This tastes different. It's not American food. It has flavor. It has a different spice. We're all happy. It's okay.
Now, would your mom, would she be upset that you don't know how to cook, or?
Well, no, I think she made her peace with that. Because she's more happy now that I cook.
you
She's
are?
like, wow,
Okay.
you made this, you made that. Because
Okay.
they would make fun of me because I used to take a home science class in school. Like,
Oh my God.
that exist there.
Okay.
I think the guys in there cook better than I did, and that was a big no-no.
Oh, no.
So my parents would joke around saying, she went to a home science class and still couldn't make an egg.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
That changed now, so
That's good.
America
Go
help with
ahead,
that.
girl. You
There
can
go.
do it. You can do it. You can do this. But now you all do a lot of spices too, though.
Yes.
Because when I went to India, I was
yeah.
amazed at how much spice that you all
Could you handle
used.
it?
No, I didn't. I'm not a spice girl. I am not a spice girl. Every rice dish was spicy. I was like,
Yes.
oh my goodness. Every rice dish, really? What am I gonna do over here for 10 days?
Dump that yogurt on it.
Yeah.
That's the
Put
secret.
yogurt on
Yep.
it. Yeah, everything was spicy, and but it has a lot of flavor
Yes.
to it. All right, tell me about Mexico and what do you have to have?
Tamales.
Okay.
That's a big thing, you know, and but mostly probably at Christmas, we had taken my granddaughter to a ballet lesson. And so we were out there and I was like, ooh, you know, that looks like it's all Latinx type of food. And I was like it's Christmas time, they've got to have tamales. Let's go.
There you go.
But you know
That
what,
was it.
too? My daughter, who's married to your son, she told me that you got to know how to make the right kind of salsa or pico de gallo.
Absolutely. My dad had an excellent recipe for that.
Okay.
And I passed it on to all my children. And so they've all kind of put their own spin to it, but it's
Right.
all based off of my dad's recipe. And I shared it with a coworker one time, and Abigail, with my youngest daughter, she was like, Mom, do not share that recipe. That is our recipe.
Don't
you know?
share it.
Yeah, but it is a certain texture.
Yeah.
And they actually called it they called it chile.
Chile.
Yeah, so they didn't call it
Chile.
salsa or
Okay.
pico de gallo. They just called it chile. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Our grandkids, that's what they say. They say, Grandma knows how to make chile.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Grandma, chile, because I don't know how to make it chile. Oh,
I'll
that's
share the recipe.
Yeah, okay, you can share it with me, though. We're family.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can
I'll
share
let
that.
Abigail let it slide.
Tell her she got to share it with family. Oh, that is so cool. All right, one other question. Some cultures are attached to certain norms. It may be the way they sway their hips. So, can you fill in the blank for us on this? A blank woman always blank.
I got one. That's a good
Okay.
one.
Wait, go.
A
I need a
Caribbean
minute.
woman always points in a room like this.
Okay.
We always point like this.
Oh, my goodness. What is that supposed to do?
Yeah, what does that
What
do?
does that do?
Go ahead.
If you're sitting in a room with people, right? Let's say my grandmother's over there, one of the audience members, right?
Okay.
And she's trying to get my attention about something. She'll say, Sade.
And so what
and you need to go take your eyes and look straight to that thing, wherever she's pointing to. Or she'll say, pick that up. What? Pick what up? So it's a Caribbean thing. It's just you point with your
You point with your lips. Okay. So now they must do a lot with their mouth, their
Yes.
voice, because I've heard them sometime if they're like asking you something or if they don't agree with something, they go, yeah.
Oh.
They do everything with
Yes.
their voice. Yeah. Did you do that, Tom?
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. You do it? Yes, but not around adults.
Okay.
Because also being a, Caribbean child, born and raised, there's certain things you couldn't do as a child.
Okay.
So, it's still ingrained in some of us.
Okay.
Hey, we don't have that kind of freedom.
Wow. Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I learned
That
something new.
is interesting. Okay, I've learned a lot today. Okay. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay, tell me something.
Well, the stereotype is always the head thing, but that's not it. Use your eyes. Everything is written in your eyes, your expression. We have dances that are done with your eyes.
Wow.
Not just your eyes, okay? That'd be weird if you did it.
That's awesome. With your eyes.
It is a thing though. In the South, they actually do have your eyes are your most expressive thing, and so women use that in film and acting, in soap operas. Oh my gosh, any of the movies, go watch. See an Indian person if they know something's wrong.
The eyes. Yes. The eyes. Ooh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
So we
But
got a
I
mountain
did remember the head, though.
Yeah,
In
that's
India.
all of India. That's not even the women. That's everybody.
I know. Everybody, we come back and.
What did you think it
we
was?
Were just, what did I think about it?
Yeah.
It was different because we came back doing this.
So wait, did you understand what it meant? Like when people say, do you want to go get something to eat? And people say, what do you think they're saying?
No. And so they were really not saying no. They really wanted to go. We just, I was confused.
let me break this down.
Okay.
It means okay. I would
it means okay.
see that's again. This is also depending on you have to read their face. So say do you want to go get Italian food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you wanna go get some Indian food? I can't even do it anymore. I've been here too long.
Wow, that's so cool. All right. We will go on to Mexico.
I've been to Mexico once. So,
Okay.
So I can only go by the way I am.
Okay.
Like, I have to have my priorities straight
Okay.
because by age 27, I had 6 children.
Okay.
You know, and so.
She's a mighty woman.
Yeah, she is.
She's a mighty
We
woman.
were, yeah, Desmond and I both active duty, trying to go to school, that whole bit. So
27?
to me, it's like setting my priorities
Goodness.
straight and trying to be as organized as I could was very important. And the truth is, a lot of Hispanics, at least in my family, have a good number of children, you know.
Right.
And so that's probably true, I would imagine, for many of the women in the Mexican culture as well. Family's important.
Family's
like, to them.
big.
Yeah, to
Family
them.
is big.
So-
Family is big. So being in the military, was that a struggle for you, being from that culture?
The thing is, I grew up in Texas.
Okay.
Where if you're a minority in that northern part of Texas right there where I lived and grew up, you have to understand who you are.
Right.
I remember one time, Lady J, we moved into a neighborhood and I was in the house. My mother was a registered nurse, you know,
that's-
so, and my dad, he had a pretty good job. He was like a crane operator. So we lived in predominantly Caucasian communities,
Right,
right?
right.
And so my parents had left to go get more boxes and I was in there and here comes these 2 cops and they point the gun at me. And I'm 17 and I just put my hand up automatically.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, what are you doing here? And, you know, I had to let them know, well, you know, we live here. My parents, we just
Wow.
moved here, you know.
Wow.
But it was so scary at that
Wow.
age. You know, now
Yeah.
looking back at it, I was like, they were so wrong for that. Just coming in the
Right.
house and
Yeah.
having a gun on me, you know.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
the situation I had to deal with, you know, at the time.
That's
But, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, now as a mom, what are one of the things that you do, or the way you express something when you know that those 6 kids did not do what they were supposed to do? You just shake your head.
She did it. I was like, oh.
I knew exactly what you meant.
No.
My grandchildren
Wow.
know that.
They know that too. You just shake your head. You don't have to say nothing.
Well, because I've already said it once.
One
So
time.
they know.
That's it.
You know.
One time. That's about it.
That's all it takes, making that.
Yeah.
Setting that up front. you
That's
know.
right.
These are the boundaries?
That's right.
No.
No. That's
The consequences are.
That's right. No, just no. I'm gonna try that again this week. No. Well, ladies, I am so excited, but we are gonna have to take a break, a commercial break, and we will be right back.
Most of my life was in India. I've only been in America for 5 years, and I didn't really think about it like that because everyone you would think looks like you, but I'm one of the darker complexion Indians, and I still I don't recall ever seeing someone with my color on screen. So in terms of representation or even person in power, I have not seen a woman specifically. I have not seen somebody in my color, and that's not something we think about to begin with. I didn't think about what that looks like until I came here. I didn't even know about the term colorism to begin with. The American perspective is anybody else that I see on screen that kind of looks Indian, I could identify with, but that's not the case because we're different. And there's the other intersection of whether you're Indian American, where you could connect. I don't know. It's different. So I guess it all falls under the perspective of the different colored skins that I would see on screen. And I haven't yet seen somebody that I could identify myself with. But yeah.
person I remember seeing on TV that looked like me and acted a little bit like me. This sounds weird, but it was Sinclair from Living Single. And I loved her. And the reason why is because she embraced her weird side. She embraced her lovable side. She embraced her mistakes. Like, she owned up to her mistakes. And I just thought that she was the best. It didn't help that growing up, I literally used to say woo 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 when I was younger. So it was just like, that's me. She's somebody that I'm just like, I see this woman and she is doing what makes her happy. She's loving on people, bringing people together, and she reminds me of so much joy. So that's my person.
Wow, this is such good stuff. I am so glad that we are back. Woo! Yes, with my guests. All right. Got a few more questions. We've had a great time thus far. Okay, when I was a little girl, I was told never to leave the house without blank.
This is interesting because I don't think my parents told me to take anything with us. Yeah. The bottom line is don't leave the house without telling them. That's really it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. That's it. I don't
they
have
never
any
even
other
told you?
protocols.
No
with that.
protocols at all.
Never leave the house without your manners.
Okay.
You better have manners. You walk into someone's home, you speak.
Yeah.
That's right.
You say we all were in the house together. We all slept in separate bedrooms, and we came downstairs, and you were the first one there, and I came downstairs, and I didn't say hello. Your response would be, I didn't go to bed with you last night. You're not going to speak?
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
So,
Yes.
you say good morning. You say hello.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. It's you have manners
Oh,
because
that's
you
so good.
represent us.
And
Yep.
that's so
You
good.
know?
Yep.
And today I think some of our young folk and stuff have lost that.
Yes.
Their mannerisms and learning how to say yes, ma'am, or thank you.
Yes.
Or,
You better.
Yeah.
Because they'll say, give it back.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. And
Yeah.
then even then where my grandmother lives, all the neighbors knew her. And so the
Yes.
neighbors would say, this one didn't do it. This one, and so it's
Yes.
so you have to remember
You will be held
that
accountable.
it's not just
Really?
you. Yeah, you're held accountable for that stuff.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
ma'am.
So
you
mannerisms was something big for
Yes.
you all too.
have to have
Yes.
manners.
Yeah.
You have to speak.
Wow. Okay, being Mexican American, tell me about it.
Similar to our guest
Okay.
here, my parents really never said,
Really?
don't leave the house without this or that. But now, as an adult, I don't leave the house without pepper spray in my purse.
Really?
So, yeah. Since 2019, I've been traveling quite a bit with my job.
Right.
And I just recently found out that you weren't supposed to have it in your purse.
Okay.
Going through the airport.
Right.
Oh yeah. No.
No.
Did you find out at the airport?
No, thankfully. No, thankfully.
Read about it at 11 o'clock news.
No.
My mom used to always tell me to make sure that my underclothing was good.
Yes.
Hey, audience, yeah. Make sure, because if you got hit by a car
Yes.
and had to go to the hospital, she did not want to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
So
weird.
you had to make
I
sure
have an
you-
aunt in St.
Yes,
Thomas, and she
yes.
goes to bed with full nightgown.
Yes.
She smells good. She looks good because of something. If she dies at night, she.
Are you serious?
She needs to make sure that they find her in a good condition.
Oh, my goodness. That's good
I
thinking.
get it. Yes.
That is good
Yeah.
thinking.
Oh my goodness. So I understand that.
Okay, one last one. Often we are stereotyped based upon our ethnic culture, and those unfair beliefs can be offensive. Can you fill in this blank for me? I am blank, but I am not blank.
So a lot of times what people mistakenly automatically think is that I'm an immigrant.
Yes. That's good,
In
Carol.
fact, my 3 times great-grandfather was born in Texas in 1838. And then Texas became part of the Union in 1845. He's indigenous to the country, to the United States, before that state became part of the Union. Our ancestors have been contributing to the country for, over a century.
Right. That's right.
So I have to kind of explain sometimes,
That's right.
or even sometimes, people just expect me to be able to speak Spanish. Even people, you know, even from the Philippines, I've
Right.
had someone come up, "Hey, are you Filipino?" And I'm like, they started talking to me in their language.
Wow.
And I just sit right there and I'm like, "Hello, you know, how are you?" You know,
Right.
You know, but yeah,
Right.
it's just
It's those
a thing. Yeah,
stereotypes.
it is.
It's those
Yes, ma'am.
stereotypes.
Yeah.
And I also feel, Carol, for Mexican Americans, what we do in America is that we feel like Mexican Americans are lazy and they don't want to work. But when I look on my streets and when I look around
Here.
Hampton Roads,
They're
who is
working.
always
Yeah,
working?
yeah,
Yep.
You know, who do
Yes.
they find to work?
Yeah.
You know, and they're the ones that are working and they work hard.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be
Yeah,
out there
it's
all
true.
day and all night and they're working.
Yep.
And so I say to myself, how dare you say
Yes.
that they're
Yeah,
lazy?
yeah.
You know, that's an
Yeah.
unbelief. They work very hard. They work as hard
My
as
pa-
any
my
American.
parents did.
That's right.
Sometimes
That's
even
right.
more.
That's
Yeah,
right.
sometimes even more and for
That's
less.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And for less. That's
for
right.
less,
That's right. That's right.
Just being here for like 5 years, I've seen it. They're doing the jobs no one wants to do.
That's right.
They're working hours that regular people don't work.
Right.
They work all through the night. Even like in my university, who's cleaning the
Yep.
the
Yeah.
university?
Yep.
Who's keeping it
Yep.
looking this
Yep.
good?
Yep.
Who's doing all the dirty work that nobody else wants to
That's
do
right.
and making it look that good so more people come
That's
back
right.
here?
Every day,
No one's
yeah.
looking after them.
That's right. They made a
Yeah.
great contribution, you know, and we need more of the understanding and less of the unbelief and myths about it in our history books.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
do. So, and in India, you know,
First thing that I can think of is like education because I came
Yeah.
here. People say, you know, Indians are the doctors, engineers, or what? Computer science, like
Yeah.
the
Yes.
STEM
Computer
field. I
science.
just
Right,
keep you in
right,
STEM.
right.
We're more than just that. I did a film degree. I did an arts degree. I did a film degree.
Look at that.
I'm doing
That's
like
all
a
artsy.
yeah. Now then, next thing, the language. You brought the language aspect. I am 100% Indian. I don't speak any language.
wow.
Does that make me less of an Indian? No. I've had to battle this in my own country though.
Wow.
Because I grew up speaking English, which is very shocking to a lot of people here in this country. That my English is pretty good.
Wow, isn't it interesting?
Which I just heard that on my way over here. Someone said that, but I'm like, that's all I know. So in our country, each state has their own language. You probably seen that when you went there.
Telugu is what I was used to hearing.
That's a whole other state. That's in Hyderabad. Delhi is Hindi.
Okay.
Karnataka is another. Each state has their own different language. And my parents were from 2 different states, and then they settled in a separate state. So their neutral language was English.
Wow.
To communicate, and we grew up in English, and we grew up in the city. So, and a lot of people outside the city you can still survive knowing English.
That's right. That's
you
right.
you wouldn't have to be that stuck as you are, as people would assume.
Right.
And
That's
then,
right.
see, that's a different thing. And then the last is, I guess, poverty. Like,
that's true,
yeah,
yeah.
poverty exists everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just our country has a lot of people, which definitely it's disproportionately affecting them. But at the same time, we're not all poor. We're not. We all don't live in huts. And I had a conversation with somebody, with
Right.
an American girl who was in high school, who graduated, and she was talking about how I showed a picture of my city. She's like, "Oh my God, that's a huge city. You have such tall buildings and this and that." And she thought, I thought, you know, we would think that India would be you walk around in huts, you
Right.
like not huts. You would have like
Right, right.
I don't know, like nothing, just like small little homes in
Right.
distance, separated with a lot of like I don't know space or nothing, no development
Right, right.
and poverty. And I'm like, no. And then when I found out where she's from, that's where she described her place.
Okay. Oh,
So, which was so
okay.
interesting. I'm like, that's crazy. My city has a lot more development compared to your little town here. I'm
Right.
like, but you don't know that because of what you've been told and what people talk about my
Going
country.
back to the books.
Yes,
the
that's
studies,
right. It
how-
just
Education, yeah.
Education is important, and you know, I know you all do still have the caste system there.
Yeah, to some extent it is, but they're also it's shifting a lot.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's so deep in like Hinduism.
Right.
So it pretty much stems from there a lot, but not as prominent as you would think.
Okay.
It still exists.
Right.
It's not gone.
Okay.
So
Do the women still have to have dowries and those kind of things? for
no.
marriage? That's great.
No, again, this is also family specific.
That's good.
Depending on your home, where you grew up, how your family practices, like, you know, what they would prefer. But for the most part, that's not a common thing, at least for me, from what I know.
Right, that's beautiful. You know, again, like we said, this education in history, it needs to be said
Yep.
so that people understand culture better.
Yep.
You know, other cultures better, because we only have just a small view.
Yep.
And then we base all of our knowing on that small view, and we just need to broaden our understanding about different cultures.
Yep.
You know, Mexican American and Indian and
There you go.
Caribbean. So what is it?
So I'm going to go on the lighter side of it all.
Yes.
I think oftentimes when people think of Caribbean people, they think that we're always late.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
And we're not.
Okay. Okay.
That's us too.
Okay.
That's us too.
They
Okay.
often think that, it's skin time. No. Some of us show up on time.
Okay.
And I think they also oftentimes will naturally assume that we're all Jamaican. I am. So
Okay.
I kind of fit in that.
Right,
But
right.
oftentimes they'll think that, whether or not you're from Trinidad or from
Yeah.
Haiti or
Right.
any of these places, then everyone's that. And you'll often hear Caribbean people say, no, I am this, I am
Right.
that. So it's good to just call us Caribbean and then
Right.
find out, where,
Where.
Yeah.
because it's
Right.
different cultures. You'll
Right.
find out that one person may eat a guinnep, which is a fruit, but another person may call it something completely different. Same thing, but just
Yes.
different sides of the quarter. I
Yeah.
guess.
So it is important that you get to understand where people are actually from and that their cultures are all different, because you said some are from the north, some are from the south, and they do differently. You
Yeah.
know, and like even in Mexico, there's all different parts. You know, everybody don't speak Spanish. you
It's
know?
a different dialect
Yes,
for sure.
yes.
Because the good thing is that so for the most part, Mexico is governed by the Spanish. You know, when you look at most of the government folks there, they're very Caucasian, you're Spanish looking.
Okay.
You know. But they do have a lot of areas where the indigenous people got to speak their language. Like in the United States, they didn't call themselves Apache or, whatever other
Yeah.
names, but
Right.
that was because of reparations, right?
Right.
They had
That's
to
right.
distinguish the Northern American indigenous people from Central and, where the Spanish took over. So it is different dialects of Spanish, only because if you're an indigenous person in South America, Mexico, anywhere else, you better learn Spanish
Okay.
or you're not going to be able to make a living,
Right.
things like that,
Right. Right.
Whereas in this country, everybody just speaks English.
Right.
Same reason, I guess,
Right.
right? To get
Yeah.
along,
Right.
to make a living,
Right.
to communicate well,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This
It's
is
just-
great.
yeah.
This is so good. I'm just so excited, but I know we have got to go. But this has been so good. We are all as different as the different heritage we represent, and there are many things we carry with us. What is one thing you cannot leave home without?
I cannot leave home without music, right? I have to have my playlist
Yes.
exactly what I want it to be, because it just, lyrics are important to me. And so if it's not up to date, then I'm like, man, I forgot I didn't update my playlist,
Okay,
so
so
music,
your
I would
music.
say. Yes,
Music.
ma'am.
Okay, cool. All right.
I cannot leave home without laughing.
Okay.
I just love laughing. I think
Okay.
laughter is like what they say is good. It's a good medicine or something like
Okay,
that.
okay.
I love to laugh. Anyone who knows me knows that I have this like big laugh that fills up the room. And even when you're a little down, you hear it and you feel it too. You know, and so
yes.
it's I can't leave home without just being joyful.
Okay.
Even in stressful situations, I pre-laugh.
Okay.
That's new to me. That's new.
All right. Yes. Okay. Now you ready? Now.
She
okay.
took it to a different level all the time. Like it's like object, then like some. I'm trying to think. Is it a thought process now? What do I leave home with? There you go. Solid liquid gas. Let's go. No, I'm gonna be real simple. For me, I guess this has been for the longest time thinking basic lipstick.
Okay.
Because I mean, I guess back home initially it would be eyeliner. Because in India you would see a lot of girls would always without it they think you look dead.
Really?
You can't look dead walking out on the
Okay,
street.
okay,
It brings some
okay.
life into your eyes.
Okay.
But I let go of that because it was not helpful. I'm like, I can live without you for a while. But lipstick is a different thing because my mom does this all the time. My mom's
Okay.
always like, she'll never leave the house without lipstick on because you just, you got to be presentable. You got
Right.
to, put your best self out all the time.
Yes.
Don't go out looking a fool.
Right.
That's it. Don't go
Oh,
out
well, look at the fool. Okay. Okay. Well, I think all of them worked for me. So I need the music, and then I need the laughter, and I need the lipstick. But I can get the laughter after I have my chai tea.
Oh, you
Oh, I gotta have that in my prayer. I gotta do that in my prayer. I gotta have prayer, or I will not have the laughter if I
There
don't
you go.
have the prayer. So, but I think all of those are great, and I think they all make a woman. I think all of that
Yeah.
helps us. So, when we explore the origins of ourselves, we discover the stories of resilience, adaptability, and spirituality. I hope after today's conversation, you embrace not only your rich history, but others as well. Queens, I hope you found today helpful, and I look forward to our next gathering, showing and sharing how we do life together to strengthen and encourage one another along this Queen's journey.
First person I remember seeing was actually not on television. I was working for the Air Force for 42 years. And so at the age of 18, I happened to see a person that had been in for a number of years, maybe 20 years. And, you go into the Air Force enlisted and you have 0 stripes on your sleeve. And I saw this woman and she had all these stripes on her sleeve. And so I was like, man, I want to do that. I want to do this. And I want to do it as well as she did.